Martial arts marketing is broken, and most martial arts school owners are either leaving a ton of money on the table, wasting a lot of time, or just not getting the results that they should be. Because here's what's happening. You've got 5 people, maybe more, doing 5 different things, going in 5 different directions. So you've got a goal, you're chasing, you want to grow your school, and obviously you need some help as well. So this is where you start, right? You start and you think, well, somebody's got to do my socials for me. I just don't have the time. And maybe not the cash flow. So who do you hire? Well, you look in your student base, which by the way is probably the best place to go and look. And so you go and find a young student that, they don't have any business or marketing experience, but the plan is just post something, right? Just get some stuff up. So the goal is to post. Your goal is to attract these students. Their job is to just post. Don't think about it, get it up. Maybe there's some thinking behind it, maybe not, but you're putting all your eggs in the basket of socials, which is really unpredictable. So, yep, it's going to add value to your business. We've got to be doing the socials. We'll cover that a bit later. But is it going to bring you the biggest return of investment? Anyway, you're getting help for it. But what's happening is they got their own metric and they're going in their direction. All right, socials covered. Now you need some ads. So what do? You go hire an agency, and don't get me started, but if there's one model that's broken, it's the agency model. Now, I've got some beliefs around this. I don't believe that any martial arts school owner should be 100% dependent on an ad agency. I'm not saying you've got to press all the buttons, but I would not throw all my eggs into that basket. Here's the problem with that. You hire one agency, maybe you find the guy that can run the marketing, can do your ads. And he's good for a little while until the ads guy needs to scale the ads because he's got you as a client, then he's got 5, then he's got 10, hit 15, 20. Now there's some real systems that start to crumble. And what do many of the guys do? Well, they got to go hire a guy offshore or someone. Ultimately hire the guy that you did not hire to run your ads for you. And their job becomes to win the clients and make sure that they got ads running to seal the deal, to seal the relationship. And all of a sudden you just see, well, hang on, my ads were good and they start to decline. You decide you got to jump ship, you part ways. And what do? You leave with nothing because you don't know how the ads work. You don't know why they worked. You don't know the offers that worked. You don't have the data of which images and which media worked, which by the way, you could have maybe gotten from the socials too. That's for another story. So where you're at, you're back down to 0. And here you start again. You're looking for the magical guy. Agency 1, Agency 2, Agency 3. I've got some school owners that boast with me and say, they've tried all the agencies. Well, that in itself is a problem. Why are you trying all the agencies? You should have a system that can actually work for you. More on that in a bit. Cool. So you've got the ads guy. He's got his goals, right? The ads guy he wants to bring you leads at whatever cost. Good lead, great. Bad lead, great. It's a lead. He did his job, right? He got you a lead. Can't vouch for the quality, but as long as he got you the leads, that's great. So you got the social kid, I say kid, probably the student, doing his thing, posting is the goal. You got an ads guy. His goal is get you leads, probably pops it into his own CRM, which clashes with your system. And so not only have you got leads coming into a different system, you've got somebody that's got to double handle the leads from the ads into your club management system. Now this probably came first, and I'll argue that it doesn't always have to if you're getting started, but by all means, you do need a good website. Need a good website. Now, my next pet peeve. Maybe you decide to invest into a big subscription and somebody's providing you a website service and it looks cookie cutter and it looks like everyone else. Or you don't want to spend the cash and again, you go to one of your students or somebody's, your friend's husband's wife, whatever. Somebody decides, well, hey, I do websites. Or even worse, the student that says, I'm just starting to develop websites. I'll do yours for free. And you're like, yeah, free website. How good is this? I'm scoring. But are you really? Because what you're doing is you're building out your salesman that's going to represent your brand in a very bad way 24/7, you have the worst performing salesman representing you on all the channels. So the question is, did you really save money? No, it's costing you money every day, thousands. Well, you just need to do the math, right? If a student is worth $1,500, $2,000 for you, and you've got people going to your website every day and not becoming leads and not getting to know, like, and trust you and not moving up the ranks to actually become a student, yeah, it's costing you money every single day. So you got a website, it saved you a couple of bucks, it's going in the wrong direction, and is it really saving you money? Number 4, email. Now, you might be of the belief that who opens email nowadays? Maybe the only reason you send emails to your students is actually to let them know about gradings or schedule changes or something else. Great, essential, but not very exciting. Not much value based within the emails. Or again, you think, well, hang on, we've got an email, so we'll create one of those pretty HTML emails that gets all our stuff in there all at once. And all that those things really do is they go into spam. That is really what they are good for. Now, just as a general stance in marketing, I believe that conversations should lead to conversions. And so the more conversations we can sell, the more conversations we can have, the more likely we are to engage with new students, right? Because people are going to engage, respond, and that's going to come from our communication that we send. So if an email doesn't look like something that I'm going to reply to, that looks like let's say something that comes from a airline like Virgin, and it's a big fancy HTML email thing with an invitation or whatever attached, you're going to look at it and you're probably not going to reply. Where, let's say Richard Branson wrote the email, plain text, and it just said your name in the subject, and it says, hey, we're having a couple of people over at Necker Island on the weekend. You want to join us? Richard. Simple text message, but you're going to respond to it, right? Anyway, I'm getting off track. But ultimately, what are you doing for email? Because email has got to do a few things here, right? Yep, it's got to inform your students, but do you have an email system that's going to follow up with all these leads that are coming in? And because let's face it, some are going to opt in now, but are they going to be ready now to start trading? Maybe there's a mum that just saw your ad and thought, hey, I've got soccer season ending in a couple of months. Let me just enter my details here and not forget. Great. That's a lead. She was keen, but what is she going to see, and how are you going to invite her back into the system? All right, we're still on the diagnosis. Let's go. Last but not least, and probably my biggest pet peeve, SEO, search engine optimization. So, sorry, but these guys, I feel it's like daylight robbery, right? Is the guys that sell SEO. Because there's zero accountability. It's always, the answer is always, well, it takes time. So they sell you this promise of getting to #1 on Google. For what? Like what term even? Sometimes the term is so long tail, meaning it's like martial arts, near whatever, if you are, whatever. I'm just making something up, right? But there's so many words that nobody's ever going to search that term, and they'll promise to get you on the #1 page. So if you're going to be on the #1 spot for a term, it's obviously got to bring traffic, right? So I've got a pet peeve about the SEO guys, because they will restructure your website and keyword stuff it that it doesn't even make sense, and you can't even read it properly. But their goal is to rank, not to convert. So the SEO guys is going to send you down this track and say, hey, well, you're ranking #1. Sorry, but you're not getting any leads. It's not their metric, so they don't care. So ultimately what you've built here is 5 systems going into 5 different directions. None of them are to get you more students. Yeah? Does that look familiar? Do you have something that you could say, well, all our systems are actually in line and talking to each other? So here's where we've got to flip the script and think, okay, well, we can't have you needing help and have all these different strategies going into a different direction. You need, as a center, maybe even, I wouldn't say as a replacement of you, but you need a centered operating system. All your marketing, all your club management, all congruent with each other. Because one thing we missed out here, probably even worse, is that you've got your club management software, your CRM, sitting there that's in the middle within the chaos. And what is really landing up here are the ads, leads coming through there? Are the socials landing up there? Is the email, is that coming through there? The website. So again, you've got a sixth one because you've got all these strategies going into different directions and you don't have your CRM in the middle of this helping you in any stretch of the imagination. So what do we need? We need an operating system that can work between all this. And when I say operating system, I mean that everything's working together, not with human intervention. Meaning, yeah, it's not like you've got a human here and a person here and a person here, etc., that are moving the data from one place to the other. You've got one operating system and it handles everything from your ads. The ads operate from the operating system. So does your socials. And actually your socials feed the system, the one operating system and the one strategy. Because yeah, ads is how they're going to see you, but the socials is what's going to make them feel different about you. And that's going to drive the know, like, and trust on how they decide. So we need these systems working together. Same with the email. The email's got to be supporting the ads because when the leads come in, there's got to be the correct nurture sequence that's going to build the know, like, and trust. And then there's got to be strategies beyond that to make sure that there's enough offers being put in front of the old prospects for giving them a reason to start at the time when it suits them. In Barters, we call this crafting campaigns. We craft a new campaign for every month to basically scoop up the low-hanging fruit, the leads that are sitting there on your database that just haven't joined yet. Now, when we run the ads, and we can talk here about Facebook and Google as the platforms where we run ads, we need to have the strategy to make sure our tools and assets are going to work well on those platforms. Now, in the Facebook realm, we can do things like lead forms, but sometimes the quality is not that great. So if your website was designed from the ground up, knowing that, well, hang on, leads are going to come from Facebook, leads are going to come from Google, we better have our assets optimized for those channels. Then that's how we build a high converting website. Because here's the problem. If somebody's building you a high converting website and they have never run an ad and spent their own hard-earned money from Facebook or Google and see it go to a website that does not convert, so sending money, your best leads, to your worst performing salesman, it does not feel very cool. Yep, we got to go through learning stages and we got to fix those things. But building a high converting website takes running ads to those websites. So if you've got a guy that bought your website and has never run an ad before, don't expect it to be a high converting website. Just not going to happen. So websites have got to operate within the system. And then this is the thing, if you build this website in the right way possible, you're going to get enough on-site SEO that's going to help you in the right way anyway. And it's going to be ranking for the keywords that you need to be ranking for. If you've got our reputation management system that is helping you build the reviews as you go along and getting those 5-star reviews, you're going to be ranking high in Google anyway without needing the big SEO guy. So here's the big thing, right? Instead of going in all these different directions, burning cash, burning energy, mediocre results, we tie it all in together. The socials, the emails, the websites, the SEO, the club operations, so that you've got one system, one operating system that's got automation and AI built in from the ground up, not patched together. That's what's going to get you ahead a lot faster with less cash spent, less people to manage, less tools, and a lot less cash and a lot less frustration. And that is what we built with our system, ManPro.